Today we're tearing down the pitch deck for a pretty fascinating startup that wants to put a vet assistant right in your pocket. We're going to break down their entire business plan for a company called Happy Paw. Okay, so let's just dive right in with a question, especially for all you pet parents out there. Your dog, your cat, they can't exactly tell you when they're feeling a bit off, right? But what if your phone could spot the signs before you even do? And that's the big promise behind this company, Happy Paw. So in this explainer, we're going to deconstruct their entire concept slide by slide and see just how they plan to turn a simple photo into, well, a powerful health insight. You know, every great startup has to solve a real nagging problem. And Happy Paw, they've really honed in on a big one. As their pitch deck says, owners often miss those subtle little signs of sickness. And by the time a problem is obvious, you're looking at huge vet bills. And sometimes, tragically, it's just too late. This is the exact pain point they're aiming to fix.
Okay, so we've got the emotional hook. This first part is all about digging into that one fundamental worry that, really, connects millions of pet owners all over the world.
All right, we get the problem. It's real and it's stressful. So what's the fix? How does Happy Paw actually plan to help? Let's break this down. SaaS. That just means it's software you subscribe to, kind of like Netflix for your pet's health. But the key here is AI-powered and photo analysis. And what I love about this is just how simple they've made it. It's a 3-step process. You snap a picture, you upload it, and the AI does its thing. It looks at everything: breed, age, skin, eyes, even body condition. And bam, in seconds, you get a report. It's designed to be super fast and easy for literally anyone to use. Okay, so how are they actually going to make money? It's a classic freemium model. The free version is the hook, right? It gives you a little taste of the tech with some basic reports. But the really juicy stuff, the detailed analysis, the advanced insights on your pet's coat, eyes, and body condition, that's all behind a subscription paywall. We're talking somewhere between about 10 and 15 euros a month. The whole strategy is to build a huge user base first and then convert the most engaged ones into paying customers. Okay, the product's cool, the business model is clear, but here's the million-dollar question for any investor. How big is this opportunity really? Is this a small niche product, or is there a huge market waiting for it?
Now, an idea is only as good as the market it's in, right? And the potential here, it's massive. We're talking about the total addressable market, or TAM, for the global pet care AI space, and it's projected to be over 1.5 billion euros. That is the entire pie they could eventually get a piece of.
But you know, smart startups don't try to eat that whole pie at once. So they're starting much more focused. Their initial target? The European pet tech market. And that's still a very, very hefty 200 million euros. So this is going to be their initial playground.
Now, this is what I find really interesting. Look at how they plan to start. They're not coming in saying they'll capture all 200 million. No way. And this is where it gets really smart. They bring it all the way down to their SOM, the serviceable, obtainable market. This is their actual goal for the first 3 years. They're only aiming to capture a tiny fraction of that European market, just 0.2%. And suddenly, that huge 1.5 billion euro number feels a whole lot more believable and achievable. So the market's there, but is the product any good? Well, according to their early tests, yeah! A 4.5 out of 5 satisfaction rating is fantastic, especially for a product that's still in its early days. It shows people are really connecting with it. But, you know, liking something is one thing. Being willing to open your wallet for it is something else entirely. And this is probably the most powerful slide in the deck. A full 70% of their early testers said, yes, I would pay for this. That is a huge green light. It means they've built something people don't just like, but something they actually value. So let's recap. We've got a solid product, a huge market, and really promising early signs that people are willing to pay. So what's next? How are they actually going to get this thing off the ground? Let's look at their roadmap.
And here's their game plan laid out nice and simple. They're starting small and focused in December 2025, just one city, Tallinn, to test the waters and get their first 1,000 or so users. Then, Phase 2 is all about growth, launching a mobile app, forming partnerships. And finally, Phase 3 is about hitting scale, expanding across Europe, and even opening up their tech for other businesses to use.
All right, let's talk about the money. Where did the initial cash come from? The company was bootstrapped with 50,000 euros straight from the founders' own savings and investments. This is huge for potential investors because it shows the founders, Tariq and Nadim Makbul, have their own skin in the game. You can see they split the ownership 60-40. And here is what they believe that initial 50 grand can grow into.
Well, year one is all about building, so they're not expecting revenue. Makes sense. But by year two, if they hit that user target, they're looking at 120,000 euros. And by year three, as they really start to scale up, they project that number to quadruple to almost 500,000.
Look, you can have the best idea and the best plan in the world, but at the end of the day, investors bet on people. So a huge part of any pitch is the team. Let's meet the founders behind Happy Paw.
And this is exactly what you want to see. It's a powerful combination of skills. You've got Tariq, the tech guy with a decade of experience leading the AI and product side of things, and then you have Nadeem with a master's in economics handling the money and the strategy. It's that classic founder pairing. One person builds the product, the other builds the business. It's a recipe for success.
Of course, they're not operating in a vacuum. They've got competitors like Tably and Barkaboo, but here's their key differentiator, and it's a big one. Most of their competitors are just symptom checkers, where you have to manually type in what you think is wrong. Happy Paw's edge is its focus on visual analysis. It's about spotting potential issues the owner might not even know to look for. It's a shift from asking about symptoms to proactively seeing them.
So when you boil it all down, Happy Paw is taking a really complex idea and turning it into a simple, powerful tool. The whole goal is to shift pet care from being reactive, waiting for a problem to show up, to being proactive, using technology that's accessible to pretty much everyone with a smartphone.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. I mean, we use technology to manage our own health, our finances, our entire lives, right? So is an AI assistant like this just the inevitable future of how we care for our animal companions? What do you think?
That's all for this breakdown. Thanks for tuning in.